Hello and welcome to An Amazing Podcast. This is DM Modi, and we are talking about episode 6 of Jujutsu Kaisen. What did you think?
Not the best episode. In fact, probably the worst episode. But that doesn't mean anything because it was still very good, and all the episodes are very good. So yeah,
Right. So I really enjoyed this episode. I like that I think we got a lot of this feels like definitely like a transition episode, sort of like one of the sort of lulls. So it's kind of like those
yeah.
50 episodes between like exciting points in My Hero Academia. It kind of felt like one of those.
That's so disrespectful to My Hero Academia. Like, damn.
But yeah, so like we got a lot of info on how curses work. We got a little bit of world building on how like the different characters work. We got a little bit of like more gauging on Gojo's strength, with which, by the way, he's probably one of my favorite anime mentors so far right now. Like, he's like if Kakashi had a fun sense of humor and wasn't reading pornography every day.
Although, who knows? Maybe we just don't see
it. As we should. Honestly, I love the whole... So basically, the episode starts off with Yuji confronting Sukuna inside their Nine-Tailed Fox Naruto Mindscape area. And again, more interaction with Sukuna and Yuji, which is always a great thing. I love how we sort of have some progression on their relationship, or development for their relationship, with them establishing a sort of contract with each other, which I am really excited to see how that pays off. So the whole once I yell extension, you have to let me take full control, but I can't kill anyone. I'm curious.
So I don't think that was actually, that ended up being part of the deal, right?
Ooh.
Because he said, we do my conditions if I kill you, and he just we can talk about that later. But yeah, so I don't think. Maybe it was. I don't think that was part of the deal, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it could go either way. I think as an audience, we should assume that that's the conditions he's working under. But I like it because it does layer on some really good mystery to it. And I love how they're planting the seeds for something really big. Also, Sukuna going One Punch Man on Yuji in that mental scape.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. What do you think about do you think he's already, because the deal was, I get 1 minute with your body and you forget. So what did he do in that minute? What do you think?
I think it was he has 1 minute in his body, but I think the thing he forgot was the conditions for the switch.
Okay, so basically Sukuna at any moment can be like, okay, I'm cashing in on my 1 minute. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Because I was thinking he was saying that I get 1 minute with your body as soon as you get revived. Mm-hmm. But okay, that makes sense then. And yeah, the One Punch Man one shot. Oh my. Okay, this is part of why I like the series, because sometimes it's so easy to see the influences of the series, and
Oh yeah, I wanted to fire off a Kamehameha and a Rasengan.
Well, yeah, exactly. You see the influences, not even the literal stuff, like what the characters say, like that, but just in the way the story is structured and all that, and the characters. But when you have that moment when Sukuna proposed the challenge, and he was like, battle to the death, whoever wins gets their way. And he was like, oh yeah, I got you. And then sliced his head. I was not expecting that at all. This is what I was expecting. as a longtime shonen viewer, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting, obviously, what's his name, Yuji to Yuji to accept the challenge, and they were going to fight. And I wasn't expecting Yuji to win, but I was expecting there to be some sort of twist where Yuji somehow does something that like impresses him, and he's like, okay, fine, with that, we'll do the deal or something like that. But no, he just went and he didn't even let him finish his sentence. Just done.
He threw that shonen bullshit like right out the window.
Yeah, he was like, this we don't play like that.
We're insane in territory now, bitch.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I was very surprised by that. And yeah, I also really enjoyed the whole thing about how he wanted to do a spirit bomb and a bankai and a Rasengan. Like, I was like,
okay,
it's funny actually.
I don't know if it's just like me and I don't understand this really, but whenever like a reference like that gets just like casually and non-subtly dropped, it just puts a smile on my face. Like, I know like that wasn't as clever as some other people may do references, but for some reason, whenever I see like a writer or like an anime or a mangaka like reference something I like, it just puts a smile on my face. Maybe because it's just like I learned the writer's like one of us.
No, but like really though, because the specific references he's making is like, it's like it's exactly like the references I would make, right? Like, he's not referencing like older stuff like Hokuto no Ken or whatever, right? So, but it's funny because how do you feel? Because it's like I looked up the author of this and like I read some interviews, and he said that like his influences are like Naruto, Bleach, and Hunter x Hunter, and he also used to like Yu Yu Hakusho. So, and this guy is like, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but they are like 28 years old, right? So only like a few years older than us. So when I see that, I'm like, oh my god, this is so weird, because it's like
in 3 years like, I'm gonna make it.
Well, not even that, but it's like yes, hopefully, right? But it's like maybe I should have made it by now, or like this person is part of our generation, right? Like this person is exactly part of our generation. Like they're making the same references that I would be making too. It's really cool. It's cool to see that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like, and this is something I noticed like really like recently. It's kind of made me feel super old. Is like when you're watching like cartoons from like the 2010s or 2000s. You always see the characters using like really dated technology, like SNESs or like the full-on box TVs and stuff. And now it's like all of a sudden you're seeing like flash screen TVs. You're seeing like people like make references to like manga and anime. And I'm just
you're seeing Nobara playing Smash Bros. Like
right. It's like dang, I feel old, and at the same time it's like, man, our generation. They're coming up. Gotta get good. Gotta join them.
Exactly. That's the main feeling I have. It's like, wow, like, okay, it's time now. Like, this is the new era, right? With like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and like My Hero to an extent. Like this is like this is really a new era now, and it's our era because these people are like our age. So yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting to think about it.
I freaking told you he watched Naruto, like she watched Naruto. I told you that like first or second episode. I called that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a random question because the question just came to my mind while I was watching this episode, but I really should have even thought about it like from episode 1. What the hell do you think is going on with Gojo's blindfold?
Okay, so back to okay. You know what? Again, I'm probably gonna bring up the Naruto reference again, but I am really happy that Naruto has had what such a bigger influence than we give it credit for. Like we always associate like Dragon Ball Z as like one of those really big like shonen progenitors,
Mm-hmm.
but that like there's a family there are like anime family trees. So like there's like the Dragon Ball Z family tree, and it branches out into like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and then you have like the Bleach family tree, and you have like the One Piece family tree. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of the best manga is coming out of the Naruto and Hunter x Hunter family tree. Not like all of them, but like we have Hunter x
Like
Hunter.
what?
So like
Mm-hmm.
the way I'm seeing it is like we have Hunter x Hunter, which is like the grandfather. Then we have like the father, which is Naruto, and then we have a bunch of other like offshoots like My Hero and Black Clover, and then we have Jujutsu Kaisen. And it feel like Jujutsu Kaisen feels I kind of want to call it a modern Naruto almost because it's kind of doing a lot of the same stuff that Naruto did when referencing Hunter x Hunter, where they would like take concepts and sort of like concepts from like their inspiration and sort of build upon them with their own unique style. And I definitely feel like Gojo is a result of that with Kakashi's influence from Naruto. And I definitely
Yeah.
think there's definitely going to be some sort of like Kekai Genkai like secret Sharingan twist. They're going to go with Gojo.
Mm.
And like I
Oh.
said, I don't think it's like a I'm not gonna say that it's like exact Sharingan, but I do think he's gonna have some sort of like fancy eye technique, and we're probably
Yeah.
gonna like. I think we're gonna see it in the next couple of episodes. Like they
Whoa.
built
You think we're
up,
gonna see it that soon?
yes, because what they're doing
Okay.
right now is they established a base power level for Gojo, and
Mm-hmm.
they've also established a villain who should be able to match it. And what they're going to do is they're going to like have him get forced back a little bit, make it seem like everything's lost, and then he's going to like show a glimmer of that power and like steamroll the recent enemy.
Okay. Few questions. First, which villain are you talking about? The one who should be able to match? Are you talking about Volcano Man?
Yep.
Okay. I disagree.
Mm.
I think okay, so first of all, let me say though, I think your theory makes a lot of sense,
Mm-hmm.
especially considering how it's been done with other series. Like I can see it,
Mm.
but I feel like it would be better if we don't see anything that's going on under his, his
Right.
headband or eye patch or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The blindfold for a while, like very a very long way into the series,
Right.
because the way I see it, he has already been established as the strongest. So
Right.
if he's revealing his his hidden the card
His
up
trump
his
card.
sleeve, yeah, there we go, his trump card. If he's revealing his trump card, um, on episode 7 or 8, I feel like that's way too early. Now it's very possible, his eyes are not his trump card, but I would be
Mm.
very surprised if that wasn't the case.
What I'm thinking is going to be like how they did with Kakashi, where like they revealed his Sharingan earlier, but
Hmm.
they never showed like the full extent of what it can do. So it's gonna be like, haha, I have magic eyes. They can do this, but they can also do more. But I won't show it right now because you're too weak.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. But that also brings me to my other thing, which is that I just don't think Volcano Man is strong enough. Like
Yeah.
I I would be disappointed if he pushed Gojo to do like to remove his blindfold, because what did they say? They said he was like 8 or 9 fingers max of
Yeah.
the, of Sukuna. Oh, by the way, all right. I want to talk about that, but do you have anything more to say about this specifically?
Oh no, no, but real quick, that diner scene. That
Yes.
scene,
Okay.
oddly enough, put a huge smile on my face. And I promise it's not because I'm a psychopath. The reason for that was that waiter knew shit was going down.
Yes.
He had like a huge family, and as soon as he knew he was going to get put in harm's way, he got the hell out of that place.
Yeah. That guy was smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's perfect. I wanted to talk more about that scene. Specifically, two things. First of all, I really like that scene because it was clearly there so that we can get a sense of how evil Volcano Man is, right?
Right.
Because in the last episode, I got like really weak vibes from him. Like he's just kind of like a henchman, and and I still kind of think he's like that, but at the very least, I know that he's really evil. So now I actually feel something toward him, and I guess that's good because it seems like he's probably going to be, an antagonist in the coming arc. So, yeah, I like the fact that they showed him. It's gonna sound like a psychopathic, but yeah, I like the fact that they showed him like, burning everyone alive in the restaurant for like no reason whatsoever.
And thus Fire Force was started.
That's so true. I guess that's like kind of a similar concept as Fire Force. I don't know why. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know why he didn't just do that from the beginning. Like as soon as he entered the restaurant, just killed everyone on the spot. Like why did he wait for a waiter to approach?
I mean, why didn't he wait until the check came?
Yeah,
exactly. At least get a free meal.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked that part. And I also thought it was very interesting. It seems like this show has a lot of ways of like power scaling. Yeah. Because what did you think about them measuring strength based on Sukuna's fingers? Like how many of Sukuna's fingers strong am I? What do you think about that?
I love that because originally we had a very solid power ranking for all the other like regular grunts or like regular curses. But now I'm assuming we're dealing with special classes or like special rank or whatever they were calling it. Without like a proper measure, and I think that's a really great way to sort of like measure the super top next level enemies and not have it so like they can have like any random power level and it's just like they are as strong as we say they are, yada yada yada.
That's true because I just remember last week we were talking about how even within the grade levels there's like a huge like range. And now this is showing us this is a good way to measure the range, at least in the special grade class, like going from, 1 finger or whatever to I guess 20 fingers. And once again, it's going to be a good way to even power scale Gojo some more because now we're going to see, okay, what does it take for him to defeat 8, in quotation marks, 8 to 9 fingers of Sukuna.
And you know what the most exciting part about this is? We've already seen, this is easily the best of all the modern shonen. Like, in my opinion, in terms of writing, easily the best. Because it's doing something I love, where every fight doesn't just exist for a fight's sake. The writer is setting up, 5 different things in advance with each fight. Because that one demon, like the curse from earlier, it established more stuff about, Yuji and Sukuna's relationship. B, it established, the weaknesses of them, switching back and forth. C, it established, more of Sukuna's curse power. D, it established exactly how, it showed us how much more freaking strong Sukuna is. and E, or whatever letter I'm on right now, it showed us how strong a single finger, finger Sukuna special class demon is. Like,
Yeah.
we know how strong, like, 1 is now, and it gives us, like, the perfect measuring stick to understand exactly how strong this volcano head demon is. And by the end of the fight, we're going to learn even more, like, we'll even get even more power scaling on how strong Gojo is.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It's done so many things. And also, if we keep in mind the fact that Yuji has, at this point, I think he's eaten 3 of the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So that also kind of gives you an idea. I don't know though. That might be difficult. I don't
Dude,
know
you know what
if
the best
like it
part about it
directly applies
is?
to him. Yeah, what?
I think it does, because think about it. He was like that. There was a huge power gap between him and that one demon. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes sense because Yuji had already eaten, like you said, like 3 or 2 fingers.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
works so well. Like, this makes me feel really sad, because now whenever I'm like trying to, like, quote unquote write, I'm like, damn, I have to like figure out how to like set up 5 separate things for this one fight scene. Like, I love that. I love that so much, because it's so
Do you
easy just to
think?
have. Hmm?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, you can.
I
You
was just
can
gonna say,
finish.
like, it's so easy just to have like a whole bunch of just one-off single fights, but like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the fights in this series have had like multiple purposes and multiple like setups for other things, and I'm so like blown away by that.
Do you think um the whole finger thing, power scaling with the fingers, do you think that has the potential to make fights boring in a
It
way
cut off for a second.
because um you kind of it kind of takes away an element of like not knowing who's going to win. Like you go into it knowing who should win. Like in any other series, you go into it having an idea of who should win, but there's always like a level of you still don't know. Like it could still go either way. But with this, it's like it's such a clear. We've established that Gojo's the strongest, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely gonna win this. There's no doubt, and we know this guy is like 8 or 9 fingers. So what is there really to be interested in? You know?
I don't think it takes away. I think the thing I really like is we know exactly how dangerous things are, and we know like the odds. So we know like if 10 Fingers is going up against Gojo and Gojo's so strong, then 10 Fingers might have like a secret like hidden card to sort of like turn the tides. Or if
Yeah.
like Yuji's going up against like a 20 finger and he only has like 1 finger, then you know that he is in serious danger, and it like heightens the tension a lot more. And it feels like it keeps things feeling weight. It's like how we said before. It feels more quote unquote realistic. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word. I can't, like, I want to call it grounded. I want to call it realistic, but
I know what you mean.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like it yeah,
It
it
gives
seems
the characters like the character's strength in this world has meaning and it has weight because it's
yeah.
quantifiable and we know
Yeah.
how to like calculate it. Like in Dragon Ball Z, we don't know
There's
exactly how strong Goku, Vegeta, or like any of the characters are. Like, because all they do is just yell and power up. But with this, we have like mathematical solid evidence of, or solid estimates of each of the characters' power level, and we know like how much danger they're in currently.
Yeah, and I think the a big thing that it does is that it takes away the possibility of an ass pull,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. Um yeah, and so moving on from that, what did you think about the explanation of cursed energy and cursed techniques?
You see, I'm not sure if I we've seen a lot of like power system and magic systems in anime. I'm not sure. Like, I am not ready to call Curse Power one of my favorites, nor will I probably be ranking it, like, afterwards. Not saying, like, not, like, to like, sort of insult the show, but it just doesn't feel, like, that engaging and cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
But, if someone told me I could become a nin master by just, like, watching movies all day, that sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah. What I like about it is the fact that it's based off emotions. I feel like that's something new. I don't think I've seen something like that before, where the power system is based off emotions. Usually it's based off like some sort of, life energy, something of that sort. But this is different, and I like it.
So, it's like, I think this is, like, I would disagree. I kind of disagree with that. Like, while most power systems aren't specifically tied to it, they are, like, they're not explicitly tied to it, but they are implicitly, because and I probably have those two words mixed up, but we've seen in a lot of animes where, like, if a character's like super angry or super depressed, we do see that it has a direct relationship to their power level. But it is nice because this is the first one I know, or I can think back to, where they specifically, like, state that, yeah, it is tied to your emotions.
Yeah, and same. I completely agree with that. That's, I like that about it. And it also kind of feels, though, that cursed energy, like, there's a lot going on. Because even, like, at the beginning of the episode, Sukuna was, like, he said, like, the core of, like, one of the keys of Jujutsu is, like, a pact formed from, like, mutual interest. And they didn't really explain that much. And I don't know if it is something that'll be explained, but it makes it feel like there's a lot to, Jujutsu that we still don't know.
Again, it's like it's Hunter x Hunter and Naruto, like, inspirations, like, on a sleeve so much.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, like, that's bad. Like, Hunter x Hunter and Naruto are, like, some of my favorite anime series. And the fact that, like, I'm watching, like, the lessons and the ideas that both series taught, like, sort of carry on and get refined in future mangas and series it's just so nice and so much fun.
Yeah, I really do like that about Jujutsu Kaisen. It feels like it's refining all those older series. I feel like, I know you would disagree with this too, but that's also exactly how I feel about My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah, My Hero is a refinement of shonen in general, but I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely, like, it's literally the line of Hunter x Hunter and Naruto. Like, I would put that as, like, the third biggest, like, the third main series in that lineage. Like, Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, and then Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, there were other series that exist in that line, like Ruby or, like, My Hero to a certain degree, but Jujutsu is it's the heir, it's the head of the clan.
Where do you see the Hunter x Hunter influence? Because for me, even, like, comparing Naruto to Hunter x Hunter, I can see that, but I still wouldn't say it's like, you know how you said, like, Hunter x Hunter is like the grandfather, Naruto's the father? I wouldn't put that much of a direct connection. I really, like, honestly, I see Hunter x Hunter as, like, in its own category, category, because I don't think anything has gotten close enough to the way Hunter x Hunter does things to actually, that I would consider them, like, to be, like, linked,
So I wouldn't. It's kind of like it's like an idea of telephone, where, like, chakra is a version of nin, and cursed energy is a version of chakra, sort of.
Yeah, well, but you could easily say chakra is a version of whatever it is that they have in Dragon Ball Z of ki, and you could say the same thing for Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, I don't necessarily see the connection to Nen. I feel like Nen is just it's just like Nen is also a version of Ki. I feel like they're all just versions of Ki. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
The other thing I will say is, and the reason I kind of like draw a connection to it to Nin is he doesn't have a really clear explanation. It's literally just like you exert and it comes out and you have a finite amount. There are no like solid rules and there's no like proper like structure or like foundation to it.
Mm-hmm.
With Nin and Chakra and with Curse Energy, there's like there are rules. There are states, and there's like a foundation or like a background knowledge to it. Like it's not something you can just like yell really loud and just shoot it out of your mouth. Like you have to like learn how to use it, and you have to understand how to use it.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to mention?
No, I'm good. How about you?
Yep, I'm good. Oh, actually, no. There is one more thing. In that scene, this is just a public service announcement to anyone who doesn't read the manga. I also don't read the manga. The scene where Yuji wakes up and he says, "Oh, I'm completely naked." In the manga, it says, and I saw this from people like posting it. In the manga, he says, "My dick's hanging out." So yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody. As usual, the subtitles are just censoring free speech. That's what's happening here.
Okay, this adaptation just like dropped it just dropped like 20 points for me. So how would you rank it? Or rate it?
Okay, this is actually difficult because, like I said, this was the least good episode out of all of them so far. But I really don't want to give it less than an 8. But I think if I'm saying it's the least good episode, I'm gonna have to. So I'll give it a 7.
I feel like I want to give it an 8 as well. But if I like average all my emotion, like the technical writer in me really loves it. But I feel like the shonen nerd in me was a little, like, less satisfied as usual. So I will give it a 7.5.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so thank you. That has been our review of episode 6 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Tune in next week for our review of episode 7.
See you later, and stay safe, and words are words.